Another technique to interrupt patterns and habits that aren't working is something that I refer to as act as if. You know, we all think we're really great mind readers. We know how our spouse is going to react. And usually, since our glass is half empty, as I pointed out, we predict that our spouses are going to react negatively about most things or about a lot of things. When we are about to approach our spouses with something and we assume they're going to be negative or we're going to get a negative reaction, we send out those signals that we're expecting them to fail us. So we walk in there, and our body language, the subtlety of our words, we are saying, I know you're not going to be very nice about this. I know you're going to screw up on this one. And lo and behold, because we're signaling that, our spouses comply, and then there is that behavior. It's a self-fulfilling prophecy. If you were to assume that your spouse is going to respond positively, that you are going to get a great outcome, how would you approach the situation differently? What would you say to him or her that would be different? And years ago, I was off doing a seminar. I think I was gone for maybe 3 or 4 days. And Jim has always been great about sort of minding the fort when I've been gone. And I remember in this particular seminar, he was great when I would call home the first day, second day, real upbeat, real chipper. But as the third day came rolling around, I heard his voice kind of drop. He was getting kind of tired of being Mr. Mom. And I felt a little bit, I don't know, maybe guilty or tense, because after all, there I was at this conference with my friends, going out to dinner, going to seminars, having a pretty good time. But I kept it to myself because I didn't want to show him the contrast between his day and mine. And as I was flying home, I remember sitting next to a friend of mine who's also a therapist, and I said to my friend, Jim's picking us up, but I feel kind of tense because I just know that he's going to be annoyed at me for, being away and having a good time. I just know that he's not going to be all that happy. So my plan was to get off the plane and be kind of low-key and tentative, not bubble on about the great restaurants that I've been to or tell him about the seminars, just to sort of hold back and see how he was reacting, to be sort of low profile. So my friend, who's a therapist, said, Michele, if you were expecting to greet Jim and he was in a great mood and he was happy to see you, how would you approach him differently as you got off the plane? I said, oh, that's a simple one. I know that. I'm always happy to see him. I'd throw my arms around him. I'd give him a big hug and kiss. I would go on and on about what a great time I had and all the great restaurants that I ate in that we'll have to go to together someday. I'd be kind of bubbly. Can you see the contrast in these two greetings? Can you imagine what Jim might have been feeling had I gotten off the plane and kept that low profile, was very cautious and tentative? What might he have been thinking about when I got off the plane like that? That I wasn't glad to see him. That's right. So if I wasn't glad to see him, how do you think he'd act toward me? That he wasn't glad to see me. And I would say to myself, see, I knew, I'm right. I'm always right. But it was really the self-fulfilling prophecy. So my friend's suggestion, I hate when they use my stuff against me. I just hate when that happens. But my friend's suggestion was to get off the plane and to act as if I was expecting Jim to be happy to see me and do all the things that I would do if I were expecting him to be happy to see me, even if I didn't believe that, to just do that. And I said, okay, and that's what I did. And guess what? I had a really happy husband. He was really excited to have me home. But I can tell you, with all the couples with whom I work, I make the suggestion, you don't have to feel that way. Act as if you're expecting things to work out and watch what happens.